Hey YouTubers, Mike Martin's here, Mike Martin's channel. I just had a video just come up on my YouTube feed, just kind of scrolling through, kind of bumming around. It's a nice day, it's windy, garden's coming out real nicely. I'll do an updated vid in a week or two when you start seeing a little bit more foliage. Anyways, I saw a video today of a bunch of protesters, I guess, in the United Kingdom, and took down a statue, a 17th century statue of a slave trader or a slave trader or a slave owner that was taken down, and it was rolled down the street. And a lot of people were chanting and cheering, and they picked up the statue when it hit the end of the road, and there was like a fence, and they just all threw it over the fence. Now, this statue was erected in I guess, in the mid 17th century. I would imagine, and it's not the fact that it's up there because to let people know that that this guy was a slave trader, but to create awareness, to let people know that people had slaves, to create awareness and let people know how slavery is a big part of history that shaped the globe, right? And whether you see it as it shaped the globe in a good way or bad way, economical way, whatever, it doesn't matter. The fact is when you start erasing history like that and taking down statues and rolling them down the street and throwing them in the water, yes, you get your temporary fix. Yes, you win for the moment. But then later generations don't remember what happened there. Don't remember that their town was known as a port for slave trade. Because it's important to remember these things, because history is doomed to repeat itself. And I saw that, I'm like, okay, so taking down history, taking down historical... George Washington owned slaves, but nobody's looking at the historical lens of when it happened. Right? In my culture, the Portuguese culture, we were the first to abolish slavery. Right? The first European power to abolish slavery. And I think that was in the 15th or 16th, sometime in the 16th century. But taking down a piece of history, or going down and taking down pictures of George Washington, like I've been seeing, or taking down the Ten Commandments, or taking down, people are looking at things in the fourth dimension. And what's the missing parameter in the fourth dimension? Time. Right? And that's the problem. Once you remove a bit of history, once you start taking down history, because it hurts. You walk by and you see a statue of a slave trader who ruled, I bet maybe that small town in the UK or something, or who ruled that area, and people feared him from a mile away. Well, you know what? People will no longer remember the history that went behind the way of life that was lived at the time. And again, history is doomed to repeat itself. Right? So taking down statues won't change the past. Right? Taking down statues, taking down portraits, taking down monuments, taking down historical figures will not change the past. And unfortunately, it will erase the past for the next generation or two. But then, are people going to be repeating history? Is history going to find a way to repeat itself? Right? I think we live in a modern day history, and I've been talking about it. Affordability issues for everybody. Average wage earners can't get into an average wage home. Average wage earners need to pay $1,800 a month for a one-bedroom apartment, but nobody's protesting that or talking about that. That's called modern day slavery, right? So how does that work, right? What about all these people that are wrapped in these credit card debts because they need to eat? That's modern day slavery. What about people signing contracts and thinking that their bank or their broker or their real estate agents on their side? What about those people that get trapped into that? They're getting trapped into modern day slavery. People that bought into the whole student loan situation, thinking that if I better my education, I can make more money. Guess what? They're not making more money. If anything, they owe more money because you can't default on student loan debt. What does that make it? Modern day slavery. So I guess a good thing is historically wipe out the history. So then when we come into this new, fresh living or new wave of slavery that we're in right now, the invisible handcuffs of debt load, then we will start realizing that slavery comes in many forms, right? What if we erected a statue uh, for little Timothy, who got a student loan and it spent his entire life trying to pay that student loan down, but couldn't make it in life because that student loan hindered him and hindered him into doing things in life, and he ended up becoming a manager at a fast food restaurant, and that degree that he was promised that he was going to get a job never got him a job. What if we erected a statue for him and tell people to stay away from student loans because they're modern day slavery, unless you're going to get into a job or a position that's going to, the only job nowadays you could get into that's going to make you money, and you got to be a damn good liar, is a politician. So taking down statues or removing history or erasing history isn't going to change the fact that it happened. And now that it's abolished and there's no way of seeing any remnants of what really happened, there's a good chance it's going to repeat itself. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. I would really like to know what you guys think about this. I've seen them rolling down the statues like, no, leave that up there so people could learn, so people understand what the people there went through and how evil the people were, and how they basically had no respect for human life. That needs to stay there so people can every day drive by and see that statue and say, what a loser. Look at that guy. He thought he had it right the whole time, but now, you know what I'm saying? And then this way now, he's probably happy. He's wherever he is, burning in hell or wherever he's at, he's looking at that. Oh, thank God they took that down. Thank you, SJWs, for doing that. Is it a right thing to take down monuments? Is it a right thing to permanently erase history? I don't know. I look forward to reading your comments below. I feel it's just going to repeat itself. Thanks for watching.